Hello and happy Saturday to everyone. I'm glad you guys could tune in today. As you can see, I've got Jan from New York City Saves Money with me on this Saturday. Today, we're going to talk about a few things. One of the things we're going to discuss is food security. I'm also going to be doing a taste test on a product that I purchased at the Dollar Tree. I'll go ahead and show you. It's a baked soft pretzel. I'm going to be doing this in the air fryer, as we discuss, or Jan is talking solely, and then I'll be taking it out of the air fryer and giving it a try on camera. So anyway, I'm gonna come over to Jan and see where the conversation takes us. So hey, Jan, good afternoon. How are you?
Hey, Steve. Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing this afternoon? As always, Steve, I hope everybody's doing well. Steve, first of all, those pretzels look so good. You're going to send them over now to the air fryer. I wish I was there grabbing a pretzel.
Yes.
Anyway, I want to mention something that I mentioned in a most recent video. Number one, how I wish this was my actual stockpile. But a sweet friend of mine recently sent me a bunch of pictures of that person's actual stockpile. Let me tell you something. See this typical shelf behind me? That person, I believe, has either four or possibly five shelves lined up going across that person's room. So this is a real person that has these real shelving that I know this person, and this person is so set. The idea being is this: in case you missed my video the other day, I strongly recommend that you go to it. I'm going to ask Steve to be so kind to hook it up in his description box if we can later on. But you want to know what is so important about the video. The video itself, my actual stockpile, for those who have been following me already know, I consider myself to be no longer in the toddler stage, but now I'm entering, as I call, kindergarten stage of learning about stockpiling. What is so important about learning about stockpiling? First of all, there are two kinds of versions of food. It's either the food storage security or food insecurity. Food insecurity is a very real problem across America. It is just a very sad situation. It is literally no one's fault, but we can do something about it. The fact of the matter is, we all can learn how to begin to do our own stockpiling. I love this picture behind me. To look like this is one of my goals. But like everyone else, it's one step at a time. I take baby steps. I believe that we all have the power to be food secure. But there are two words that we can never forget besides food security. The other two words are self reliance. You see, it's a huge mistake when we have been so taught to lean on certain things all the time. If something goes wrong, lean on whatever. If something goes wrong, lean on your neighbor. If something goes wrong, lean on, the big things around us that maybe we shouldn't be leaning on so much. I think self reliance is very important. Now, don't get me wrong. There are situations in life where sometimes people, for whatever the physical reason or whatever, have to hand over and relinquish sometimes. And that's totally acceptable and totally understandable. But if one is able bodied enough to do things, even if one can't get personally directly to a grocery store, where I am, I have multiple flights of stairs. I cannot carry heavy things up the stairs from an old injury that I received many years ago, in a car accident. Okay. So in my case, what am I supposed to do though? Never get groceries? No. Thankfully, we live in an era where I could go online and I could place an order of very heavy items and have them sent up to me. In other words, we have to use what we can to get what we can get. So in this case, I'm reliant on myself to place the order. I'm reliant on myself to pay for the order. I don't expect my neighbor to pay for my order. The other gist of my message from the other day is that it is natural for us to want to take care of our families. It's just a natural thing. For example, whether you're a family of six, a family of four, a family of three, or in my case, a family of one at this time, because, my family's all grown up and they're on their own type thing. So I am a family of one. Who has to take care of me first? Well, God, I rely on God. That's always, I know He loves me, but God also wants us to do our part. And that's the main thing. And that's where the self reliance comes in handy. Do you need a fortune to start a stockpile? People always ask me, well, how do I start a stockpile? I don't have any money. And I'm going to give them the same answer I will always give. And most of my frequent viewers are going to know what the answer is. How do you start a stockpile? One can at a time. If you never started one, I strongly suggest that you begin to do that. I really, really do. Hey, Steve, are you still working with that pretzel, or you need more time, or just let me know the status?
No, no, no. The pretzel is currently in the air fryer, so it's going to go for about 5 minutes.
That's
Um,
wonderful. That's wonderful.
so we'll see. Let me get lined up here. I'll bring it back in.
Good.
So, no, the pretzel is currently cooking. Now, keep in mind, I've never done these before, what it says to do, because it comes with a small packet of salt. What
Oh,
it says do is you take the pretzel out. You take the pretzel and you run it under water a little bit to make it wet,
oh,
so that
wow.
the salt sticks to the pretzel.
Oh, I didn't know there was that extra step to it. What I like is that you could control the sodium on that.
You can you pick whatever amount of salt you want, but keep in mind too, because under the bottom, because I'm going to have salt on both sides, not heavily salted. It's going to be like lightly salted. I don't like a lot of salt. I haven't sprinkled salt, so to speak, on my food since January of '95. My sister mentioned
Wow.
to me, she said, Steve, give up salt altogether, do it for about a week, drink nothing but water. She says you'll lose some type of weight. So I did. I lost about 3, maybe 4 pounds at the time. But ever since that, doing that water trick, no sprinkling salt, unless what was in the food was already there, I never used salt as a separate ever again.
Right. And you don't crave. It's funny mentioning this, because the more you're away from it, the more when you find foods that are flavored heavily with it, you could just, I don't know about you, but I want to jump back when it tastes too salty to me.
Uh-huh.
I dislike that incredible, too salty taste. That's really something. How do you like the stockpile behind me? What do you think of that? Isn't that gorgeous?
Yeah. As I mean, you that particular stockpile. I mean, you're pretty well off. I mean, I'm seeing.
I wish it
pic-
was mine, but as they know, it's my sweet friend's
Um,
stockpile.
I see. I did see tuna back there. Some salmon. Um, I'm not sure where the chili sauce would come in.
Well,
Except
I
that you.
understand from my sweet friend what her method. I'll give away. It's a she. Her methodology is that to have the ingredients that you need to put things together, to be able to have those ingredients of which to put things together, which is actually amazing. And this goes on and on. There's like I said earlier when you were preparing your pretzel, there are either maybe 4 or 5 racks like this behind me. So we're talking about starting a stockpile and the importance of it. You know what, Steve? It is a natural thing, in my opinion. Tell me if you agree or disagree. To concern, you shouldn't feel badly about this. To concern yourself with
You know,
your family, it's just natural to want to concern yourself about your own family, to look out for your family. Is that wrong or right? What do you think?
It, we know
Ah,
what's up. I'll get that in just a second. But
sure.
to answer what you said, um, no, I do believe in getting your family involved if you can, if they're local to you. Now, some of us, like in my case, closest actual family is about 8 hours away by car, maybe 9. But if you have family that's local to you within a 10 or 15-mile radius, absolutely get them involved. Why not?
And also another thing that I regard as family, like if a person like lives with someone that, it's not necessarily DNA, a person not necessarily DNA, that could be considered your family too, because some people could be DNA, they never even talk to each other. Some people could be non-DNA, and they're very, very close. It's the people that are in your household that you see on a day-to-day basis that are there. It is natural, in my honest opinion, to look out for them and to look out for yourself. This is not being selfish. This is not being a hoarder, okay? Everything that you see behind me, or in my own, kindergarten version, I'm growing into it. It's just a form of little by little saving. One of the reasons that I have started this, something told me, God told me, actually, my friends encouraged me and all this and all that. I was just so grateful that I did have a miniature stockpile during Superstorm Sandy, and I was set. But prices are realistically going up. And if I could find a way to like let it work for me, and when I can get things at a better price that are on sale that I actually use. Here's the big mistake what people make. When they buy things because their neighbor likes it, or it may not be something your family likes. Don't spend money on things your family's not going to eat. And I know some of you heard me say this a number of times, but there may be a brand new person viewing this who has never heard it before. Because I do know of a couple of people that they made what I call Hollywood stockpile. Hey, it looks great. All the conventional things you hear about. So I would ask those people, do you actually eat this, that, and then they're like, not really. So if you're not going to eat it during regular times, why would you eat it during the harder times? So get what you literally would eat. Get what stays a while. My recommendation is to buy things that are prepared already in your initial stockpiling. Things that, first of all, it's got to be something you and your family eat. Things that are easy to prepare, or things that have multiple ingredients in it that's already cooked, and all you have to do is heat it up. Like, for example, canned stew, canned soups, items of that nature, canned fruits. You may be without power for beyond a week. You need some fruit and vegetables in you. You know what I'm trying to say? So therefore, to be prepared. So Steve, did you come back yet with your pretzel, or is there an issue? Just wondering if it has to cook longer.
No,
Curious.
I have it. No,
Oh,
it's here.
oh wow.
Um,
How's it look?
um, I'll show you. I have it here. I'm just going to take it out of the bowl and just show it. Like I said, you know,
Beautiful.
and then you got like I said, this is the first time I've ever done a pretzel like this. Because I've eaten them I've gotten these at the fair, amusement parks, and you know, just to out in general. A lot of the time, there's a place out at the mall that does pretzels. It's called Auntie Anne's, or
Oh,
Auntie Anne's, and it's as you're walking through, you'll see it a lot of the time as you're going along. And if not there, I've gone to, like, well, when BJ's Wholesale Club used to have a concession stand, they got rid of it. The only place you can get concession stands now is if you go to a Sam's Club or a Costco. A lot of the time they have this.
oh.
But I'm about to try this.
Okay. I cannot wait.
So let's see. Like I said, this is a first time. Mm,
Good,
Actually, not bad for a first time. Um, it
good. And
does
this was reasonably priced, budget friendly.
6 for $1.25.
Does it get better than that? I mean, I remember paying like, well, in the street, maybe a couple of dollars for one. Wow.
Well, keep in mind, a few months ago this was $1, but since everything has gone up, now that you go to Dollar Tree, everything is more money. So this is now 125, but not everything in the Dollar Tree is 125. There is still a few items in there as you look, like canned goods.
It's a bargain at $1.25. You know what pretzels like that always are reminiscent of to me? Childhood memories of going to the playground. We had
Mhm,
a pretzel man, that would sell pretzels right outside the playground,
mhm,
or in
mhm.
Central Park, and you get your pretzels. And if I visited Philadelphia, we would always put mustard on top of a pretzel, which is a very Philadelphia thing to do. Put mustard on it, and it actually works. It actually tastes pretty good like that. And I'm so happy. So you would give this product a good review. It strikes me. When Steve took it out, the coloration of the product. You know what's fascinating me? You did in the air fryer. An air fryer to me is basically practically like an oven. It really, really is. So you were able to work your magic. I throw bread in mine when I want to heat it up and toast it. I've done it with
Well,
garlic bread. Yeah.
when I got this air fryer back in September, and I did a review on that, unboxing it, setting it up, and the whole nine. Um, I read the owner's manual, and the inner workings of an air fryer is just like an oven. You got the 300, 350, 400 across the top, but down on the inside, when you look up, you've got like an electric burner, like you do on a stove, electric stove.
Right.
That plus the fan, when you activate it, is blowing all that hot air around. That's what's cooking your food.
That's
So it,
amazing.
so it works just like an oven if you think about the concept of it, the inner
Love it.
of it. Yeah.
I
So
think that's great, Steve. So it got a good product review. I understand also that in your recent travels, you picked up a few spices, and judging from the size of the containers, I think you got a really good price on them.
yeah, I'll show you. One, since I do like to cook spaghetti sauces and such.
I know you like to cook. Yes.
Right.
Oh,
This
wow.
this ran me $4.29 at BJ's Wholesale Club, but it gets better.
Love
Then
basil.
oregano, the Badia, whatever.
Nice. Oh,
Three
oregano.
three
Yum.
forty nine, 3.49, and then parsley, about the same, about three
Nice. Do
forty
I
nine.
smell a homemade tomato gravy or tomato sauce in my
You
friend
do,
not so distant future?
you do.
Oh,
Now that I don't have. I'd have to go out and get those. And when I make spaghetti sauce, and again, you can always refer
excuse me.
to my videos. I like to use Roma tomatoes when I make spaghetti sauce for
Yeah,
the for the simple fact that it brings out the flavor more, and it's
it
less acidic.
does. I agree.
You don't have to use as much sugar. You
No.
don't. So I didn't buy it. I may go back in the same size container. I may consider buying some bay leaves. I use bay leaves in my cooking as well.
Oh, good.
Um, Bay leaves, another tip. This comes from my mom. If you ever have an upset stomach, you're not feeling well, you don't want to do the baking soda and water and acid, which is nasty. I'm just giving you a heads up on that.
Yeah.
What you can do is you get a cup, whatever size cup you're going to use, a coffee mug or whatnot, fill that up to where you want it. Put that in a little saucepan, a little piece of lemon, and a small bay leaf, and bring it to a boil.
Wow.
Not done. Then you take that, pour it in a cup. You add either honey or a little bit of sugar. You stir it, and you drink it like you do a tea, a hot tea. Not that I'm trying to sound too much information, too TMI here, but it will straighten you out. One of two things will occur. It's a part of nature. You're either going to come out the top end or you're going to come out the bottom end. But one way
North
or
or
another,
south? The battle of the North or South?
usually in my case, I'm just going to give it away. A lot of the time when I drink it, it's bottom end. I'd rather do that than throw up. I've never been much of a fan of throwing up.
Yeah, no.
So, and it does straighten you out. It's got a nice taste to it. This is one of my
Right.
mom's natural cures that you don't have to run out and buy expensive items. You can just get it right off of your
And
pantry
you know,
shelf.
you're reminding me of those are good items to keep in your stockpile. Like I
It
have
is.
like a little honey bear, for example. Like honey is not something I personally use often in recipes because it's very sweet and rich. But it's nice to know it's there. If I get a little tickle in my throat and I want to put it in some tea, right, to calm down my throat or a little cough or whatever, it's good to have the honey. And Steve mentioned about the bay leaf. You know, it's good to. There you go. Bingo. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Well, actually, I've got another one up there that's full. I
Yeah.
bought 3 bottles of honey like that at BJ's for $8. So it's like like what, 250 times three, or
Yeah.
260,
Yeah. That's wonderful.
which is a good deal. And I've got
Good to
that.
have it. You never know. You wake up with an upset stomach, 2 o'clock in the morning. You got it.
I've got what you see there, about a third of a bottle. I've got one up there that's completely full. It is good to have. You could all, like I said, it's funny though about me. Here I am living in the South. All right. No, people get me confused with that. But when it comes to a hot tea, I like honey. If you give me cold tea, I like sugar. Don't ask me why. That's just
Now,
me.
I could understand that there when honey is heated up, it brings out the natural flavor a lot more. You can't appreciate it as much because there used to be an Italian recipe my mother would make at Christmas time that strofoli, I think she called it, and she would heat up the honey with a little lemon and a lemon juice and the honey, heat it up and drizzle all this on top of these crispy, doughy things that it's very Christmas time, and the heated up honey makes such a difference.
Hmm. Hmm.
Quite
It
good.
does.
But it's good to have a stockpile. You have it
Mhm.
there. It's not something you think about all the time, but it's nice to know you have it there. How do you start a stockpile? One can at a time. Can a low income person start a stockpile?
Mhm.
Absolutely. In fact, the lower income person should begin it immediately, if not sooner. What says you about that, Steve? Yeah.
Well, when it comes to a stockpile, it doesn't have to be anything really expensive to start out with. You could start out with a can of vegetables, a can of green beans, or um, a
Right.
can of chili, or a can of soup, or a jar of tomato sauce. I mean,
You
look
know, it's
at.
funny you said that. The chili.
Mhm.
Thank you, Steve. It's funny you brought this up because just this very week, I said, I don't feel like going to the grocery store and I don't feel like ordering anything. I don't need it, but I am craving something that I ran out of in my active pantry. But then the light bulb went off and I said, but I know I have it in my extended pantry. Know what it was, Steve? Wolf chili.
Um,
I heated it up and I threw it over some rice.
wolf chili. Wolf chili is okay, but be very careful which one you get. There is one wolf chili that's got a kick to it, so you got to That's one of the reasons why. Not that I don't like wolf chili. Wolf chili's fine, but I like to buy one called Armor chili, and I don't know if I saw that
Oh,
before.
you got me into that. I also have a can of that as well. The armor is very, very good. But I just love knowing, Steve, that that was there. I was like, oh, I ran out of it in my, my regular, workable working pantry. And then I said, but you do have some in your extended. It's just nice knowing the stuff is there.
Mhm.
Oh,
I
another
mean,
trick for anybody.
mhm.
Go ahead, Steve.
No, the only thing I was going to throw in just rather quickly, I don't care what state you live in. It doesn't matter if it's a hurricane prone state like where I'm at, or tornado, or earthquake. I hate to use that word, but you know what I mean. Or if you get snowed in, no matter where you live, no, it doesn't matter. It can be anywhere in the world. A stockpile is always good because why? One thing will happen no matter what that is out of our control. Power outages. We have no control over that. That can happen at any moment. It doesn't matter. And when it
Absolutely.
does, that is a good time to have a good barbecue grill. Usually there's a little burner off to the side you can cook with. Better yet, in a household. And a good friend of mine brought this to my attention, and he's exactly right. And I knew it, but he brought it back, he refreshed my memory. If you have a house or a home, a trailer, whatever you live in, and your stove is gas, you're good about cooking for food because it has nothing to do with electricity.
I went through that the 5 days that we were out. I was so blessed. I had at that time a gas range, which was great.
Yeah, if you have gas, you're good to go because that's like a salvation. If it's electric, you're screwed. Excuse my language, but you can't cook.
It's true.
But if you got the gas stove, you're good to go. You're fine. You know.
It's
So,
true.
uh
And you know what? I was going to just mention this for anyone. I'm talking about the person from starting off at zero. Guess what? If you have a working pantry, which is your fridge, your whatever you have, your little cupboards, there's bound to be something in it, hopefully. You take one can, remove it, and put it into the location of your brand new stockpile. You didn't even have to go to the grocery store. Take that extra
no,
can of peas out and walk into another area. One day I'm going to do a show all about just starting from the very, 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 very beginning. And I think that'll help a lot of people.
well, down here, if you can save yourself a trip from going to the grocery store, now mind you, grocery store for me, I've got three Publixes, I've got a Winn Dixie, I've got BJ's, I've got Sam's, I got Costco, and all of these stores. If I want to go to Walmart, that's there. If I want to go to Target, Aldi, Save a Lot, I think I pretty much cover just about every grocery store I've got in my area. It is all within an 8 to 10 mile radius of where I'm sitting. So think about something with fuel costing me, if I use regular unleaded, which I'm not a big fan of it, in my car, it's 3.35 a gallon. Me, keep in mind that's a mainstream price. There are other places you can pay higher. If you can just get something out of your stockpile, put together a meal that you have what's already on hand instead of going out. Do you really need to go and use that gallon or two of gas to go and come back? Not really.
Excellent point, especially with the prices at the moment.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
read something on a scroll of the news just this very morning that wholesale prices are at this moment in time that we're recording 9.7%.
Good Lord.
9.7% is on the brink of hitting 10. That is a lot of money, and of course it's going to be passed on to the consumer. So if it's 9.7% at the wholesale level, it inevitably is going to hit the consumer. So we have to do everything we can. That's one of the reasons it's good to get things at the best price that you can that lasts. We're not talking about for 20 years. It's never going to be for 20 years, but at least for the next year and a half to 2 years, you always want to be ahead of the game. Look at it that way about being ahead of the game. So I'm not going to bend your viewers' ears off anymore about
Oh,
this.
that's fine. Well, you know, but you're right about what you said. Not that I'm trying to get into politics here. Believe me, that's not my politics does nothing, religion, all of
Right.
that everybody's got their own viewpoints. There's no winners. But I will say this. The bad part is when the prices go up, even when inflation and all that comes down, those prices still stay up. Why is that? Those prices should revert back down too.
You are correct. It's hard to ever hear that's going to go back down and stay down.
Hmm.
I agree. We have to stay ahead of the game. Steve, I'm glad you enjoyed the pretzel.
Oh, I did. And like I said, that's the very first time I had ever, and I repeat, ever in my life, have I ever made a pretzel. It turned out rather good. I'm not complaining.
Wow. So we saw this in real time, so to speak. Look how fast and easy. Look how affordable. And I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I did. I did. So that's that. Um, Now I know how to do it. I mean, I thought because every time I go and get one out, Auntie Anne's or Costco, Sam's, whoever has a concession stand. Sometimes I haven't been to a movie theater in so long, and that's another subject within itself. You
You're not
know,
kidding.
and we've talked about that in the past. All you got to do
Yes.
is revert
Yes,
back
we
to
have.
the you'll find it. But why pay $3, $4, $5 for one pretzel when you can go? I'm not saying it's the best one in the whole world. There is no best. I wish people would realize that. But
Just a trick.
you got good and you got better. That's the way I look at it. But what? Get that, heat it up 4 or 5 minutes before you do it. It does say to get the pretzel a little bit wet on both sides. That way the salt sticks. That's what I did.
Right.
And you just stick it in there at 350 for 4 minutes. Boom, you got a pretzel. Now, I have another item I can show you right quick. I don't mind rolling over here and getting it out of my uh, freezer. I want to show you guys this. Don't know if you know about this or not. No, it is not. It is not the same thing as what you would get when you go to Little Caesars, or don't even get me started on a pizzeria, because if I want a pizza, and I'm picky about pizza, especially from my heritage, I prefer a pizzeria. But if you ever just want to
And you
buy,
did a video on that at great length, by the way.
but this is totally different. But
Right.
it is pizza. But if you want a pizza, you want to be on the cheap, you want to be on the budget, you're at a dollar store. All you got to do is pick up one of these Celeste pizzas. Again, $1.25. This is the deluxe.
So
All I
good.
had to do, I took it, stuck it in my air fryer. It sat down in there, 375 for 10 minutes. I had pizza. No, it's not what you go out and get at Domino's, Little Caesars, and places like that. That pizza's okay. I give that a C rating. It's okay. Me, on the other hand, if I really want a pizza, and not that I'm trying to quote Little Caesar's slogan,
Well,
give me a pizzeria. New York. I'll even settle for, I'd even go for a Chicago style. Or give me Sicilian pizza. People misunderstand Sicilian pizza.
I
think
love Sicilian pizza. That's really
people
good.
think the Sicilian pizza is a thick breaded pizza. Wrong. I grew up there. I lived there for a little while. My mother was from there. I know what a Sicilian pizza is. It's not that. Americans have it all wrong. I'm just letting you know. So,
I totally believe that. I just want to mention to you regarding your Celeste pizza. I've had it in the past. What's good about that type of pizza, not that they're really perfect for, people call it like frozen toaster pizza type thing, like toaster oven pizza off your oven or whatever. Very good. Your kids come home from school. What's the first thing they want to do is grab a bite? Pop that in the oven. It keeps them, a little, satisfied till dinner, or it could be dinner, team it up with a salad. I think you got a really good price on that, Steve.
I did. It's only $1.25, and when I cut it, it gives me 4 pieces. Um, on the back here, you've got conventional oven. Well, I just treat the air fryer directions to the conventional. What this says, I do there because that's basically an oven. Or
Right.
you've got the microwave setting, which you can put it on there, stick it on high for 2.5 minutes, and you take it out. You let it cool for about a minute, and you're done.
There
So you
go.
don't necessarily have to go the air fryer route. You can do it in the microwave for those that have one. Because there are some people that don't have one. But anyway, what I want to do, and I'm going to throw this in and then we'll conclude, is I myself at the moment, no, I don't have an oven. But I have thought about going to the grocery store and purchasing, and I really don't have to. I can just go to Publix and get a pie already made, and that's like the next best thing to homemade as far as I'm concerned because they put a lot of love in their stuff. But
Yes.
I could go to the store, Publix, Winn-Dixie, wherever, and I can buy one Mrs. Smith's pie. Mind you, a whole Mrs. Smith's pie is not going to fit in my air basket or for the air fryer. I would have to cut it and take
Sure.
part of that out, set it down in there, follow the directions that you would use for how you would prepare it using a conventional oven, and then see how it turns out. I've been wanting to do that. I've been wanting to do that.
I think it makes sense.
And the pie that I want to do it with is I want to do it with a cherry pie.
It couldn't hurt to try doing it.
Right. And then I know what's going to happen from there once I catch on to something. Oh, well, look at here. I can make me a pie in my air fryer for 25 minutes or whatever amount of time at 375 or 350. Boom, I got a pie. Then my mind's going to start going into pie cruise control. Then I start thinking up things because the way that I work is when I start cooking and I do a recipe for the first time, the second or third time around, I get creative. I'm going to change it, do it a different way. So, all right, enough with that. I pretty much got what I had to say off my chest. But Janet, it was nice to have you aboard on this Saturday.
Always a pleasure to come to this show. I look forward to, when we get together on our, alternating Saturdays and stuff like that. This is very nice. Thank you.
You're welcome. And guys, keep a lookout on Tuesday. I've got a pretty good recipe I think you'll enjoy. It's not, it's really a snack. It's a snack. It's not an actual dinner item. So be on the lookout for that. Janet has her Tea Tuesday segment at 10 a.m. So be
thank you.
on the lookout for that. You're welcome. And again, I hope everybody has a nice, great Saturday, good weekend. And we will see you next time. And just have a good day. See you all next time.
Bye-bye, everybody.